Man, WrestleMania is just a couple days away. It's gonna be a huge card. LT's in the house with me, 411 in the building. Turnbuckle talk. Get ready to rumble. Yeah, here we are. Here we are, LT. WrestleMania is right here.
Yep. Yeah, we're in WrestleMania week.
Yeah, man. Man, almost 30 hours of WWE, man, over the weekend if you count NXT and SmackDown and Raw and all that. And for Stand Deliver NXT. I mean, they're gonna roll this thing all the way from and then the Hall of Fame, all that stuff. So man, you got 30 something hours worth of WWE starting on Friday. It's gonna be
Yeah,
crazy.
Friday night's WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah. SmackDown. I mean everything, man. So it's gonna be crazy. But hey man, for the sake of time, so we can get these matches in. And I had to fit LT schedule in here, man, best I could on 41 Sports World Network. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, notification bell, and share, because sharing is caring. 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. On TikTok, Mr. 411. On Instagram, Mr. 411. All right, here we go. Man, let's go ahead and start off with Saturday, LT. War Raiders defend the tag team championships uh, versus the New Day. What you got, man?
This one's going to have to be real easy to me. It's going to have to be the New Day. They spent so much time and effort into the Big E change to make them heels that they almost have to win the belt. They almost have to beat the War Raiders to take the belt so that they can become top of the tag team division as the heels.
Yeah, and it just adds again to their lore, man. Another tag team championship, arguably the greatest tag team of our time. I mean, they're definitely in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you. New Day. I'm taking New Day over the War Raiders. But I like the War Raiders. I like what they've done. They haven't really had a chance to defend the titles a whole lot since they got them. But I like them as a tag team. They are one of those true tag teams, and I think they can go back and forth with a rivalry with the New Day.
Yeah, and they're one of Triple H's favorite teams too. I think he groomed them to be in this position, and I believe that the War Raiders will get the belts back again.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get to the next one then. What else is on the table? Hey, how about this? This is one of my favorite matches of all of WrestleMania, and that's the timeless one. Rey Mysterio going against what is it? Americano?
Yeah, Chad Gable or Americano or whatever they're calling it. Um, I believe Chad's going to have to win this. Eventually down the road, I believe Chad's going to win at the at WrestleMania. Later down the road, or maybe this comes out somewhere during the match here at WrestleMania, but they're going to have a mask versus mask match, and somehow somebody's going to have to reveal that this is Chad Gable. It's going to happen.
So far he's been getting away with it, man. Like,
absolutely.
He's been disappearing and popping up. He's been sick. Like, he's been in matches, then disappears, and then Americano shows up. And that loaded mask, man, he's been utilizing that a lot. That's old school, but utilizing that loaded mask. It makes you wonder, like, will it backfire on him, and will Rey Mysterio, get him? But I'm with you. I'm going with Americano, man. I think he's gonna somehow pull out this victory. He'll cheat again and somehow get away with it. And then, hey, Larry, maybe he wins the match, but at the end of the but before the end of the segment, Rey Mysterio somehow reveals who he really is. So maybe they both win.
It's possible, but there again, you could have rundowns from the LWO. You
Yeah.
could have anything that could get them disqualified, and maybe they'll have another match later.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
They could make it go any different direction.
Yeah. And the LWO, man, shout out to them, man. You saw the 6-man match the other night.
I did.
That was fun, man. It was an awesome match. So
They were
definitely,
very
man.
athletic and put on a very good show.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
was one of their best matches, I believe.
Yeah, it was up there. So I can't wait for that match, man. I'll be looking forward to it. Hey, another match that I am thoroughly intrigued about, and that's Jade Cargill and Naomi. The grudge match. I mean, they finally gonna get in the ring and get it on, man. This has a lot on the line, you know what I mean? It's a lot of animosity here, a lot of jealousy, a lot of emotion here in this match. We get the new Naomi going against Jay, and this is what Jay. This is gonna be one of her first, matches like solo, and it's
Yep,
on.
first singles matches. Yep,
Yeah, and it's on the
absolutely.
biggest stage. And it's on the
Sure.
biggest stage, man.
Mhm.
Man, how do you think this one's gonna go?
This could go a bunch of different directions. Also, you could have Naomi win as the heel, and then Jade become the babyface, and then Naomi move on to fight Chelsea Green for the belt. You could spin it so that Naomi could stay the heel. They spent a lot of time in developing this heel character for her. They
Yeah.
could spin her into going to face Chelsea Green. But Bianca doesn't even have her match until night 2. So she could even come down there during the match and interfere in the match.
Yeah, that's right. That's a great point that you make. That Bianca's match is not until night 2, because this match here is really based off of Bianca, the
Right.
relationship they
Absolutely.
both have with Bianca, and how Naomi wanted to position herself as the number one best friend, not Jade, as she says. Who she believes Jade has just come in and kind of just stepped in there and rode the coattails of Bianca. But uh, yeah, I can see her being out there, being nervous about it, and maybe somehow she kind of indirectly interferes in a way that one of them loses, and then that branches off to something else too. So,
Right.
at the women's intercontinental championship, you got, like you said, with Chelsea, the women's U.S. title. So there's a lot that can be done here. I think it's going to be a physical match. I mean, right from the opening bell, I think it's going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to it. For prediction, I'm going to pick Jade with the win, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to take Naomi for the win as the heel. And then maybe she can move on to bigger and better things.
Yep. Hey, might move on to a match with Bianca.
You're right, especially if Bianca wins.
Whoa.
If Bianca wins on night 2,
oh boy,
she could be the heel going after the belt.
Wow, man, I'll pay to see that. All right, so we'll go to the next match here. Let's go with the U.S. Championship on the men's side. You got Fatu and yeah, LA Knight, man. I think I know where you're going with this.
I'm still confused.
Okay.
Jacob should win. Jacob is going to be the bigger star, and they could go a bunch of different directions here too, because you've got the bloodline. The bloodline could get involved. LA Knight should probably lose because Jacob's going to be the bigger star down the road. But I just don't think they're ready for LA Knight to lose right now. I think they're enjoying the belt on him. I think somehow Jacob's going to lose by some outside interference, and LA Knight's going to keep the belt.
Wow. Do you think that the interference may come from Solo?
It very could, yes, absolutely.
Wow. Like this match, man, this is that for the US Championship, they picked 2 stars, man, for this one. And interesting. It makes that belt that much, Sting, man, to have these two going after it. If Jacob could win, like that would be a step to see how he looks as champion. And then ultimately, I think we all agree one day he's going to be a world champion. I think it's not if, it's just when. But for that U.S. title, this will be a good feather in his cap, and it'll be a way to bring something back to the bloodline. Uh, Man, you could see maybe Solo against Mega 5-2 for the U.S. title down the line or something like that. But LA Knight, man, has been a fun champion and a well-deserved champion. So for me, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Fatu with the win, but I wouldn't be surprised if LA Knight keeps this belt. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at that. There's way more challengers that can come after him, and so on and so forth. And Fatu is tied into this dispute right now, this power struggle with Solo. And so to me, it's just a matter of will they have this struggle back and forth with a belt involved or without a belt. And so for me, just my prediction, I think he wins it some kind of way.
And I believe that Jacob should win, but he's going to have to separate himself from Solo. They're going to have to break him out of the bloodline first. There's going to have to be some kind of conflict between him and Solo before they put the belt on him.
Okay. Hey, man, if they do it that way, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just, man, it's just great, man. It's great to see where this all can go. The bloodline has so many tentacles right now. You know, you still got Roman, who we haven't talked about, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, and his journey, and we'll get to Jey Uso. Matter of fact, I think we're gonna get to Jey Uso next. Let's see what's on the docket here. Exactly. Let's get to it. So, for the World Championship, you have Jey Uso, challenger, versus the champion Gunther. Man, now you know the crowd's gonna be rocking for this one. It gives me a little bit of a feeling of Kofi Mania, some years ago with Kofi, and that momentum for him to win, and he finally won a championship. Uh, Gunther said something Monday night that made a lot of sense. He said ever since he's been on the roster, he's had a belt. He's been a champion.
Right.
Since he's been on this roster, man. He's close to being the guy in the company. Of course, he's got a little bit of time that you got Romans and you got your Punks and Seths ahead of him, but you can see where Gunther can be the top guy in the company at some point. There's just no stopping him. But Larry, who's going to win this match? Is Jey going to get that championship, or is Gunther going to defend it?
This is easy. Jey has to win the belt. This is just like you said. This is Kofi Mania. This is Daniel Bryan Yes Movement. This is going to be one of the biggest babyface pops of the night, and it's going to have to be with Jey winning the belt. And Jay's finally going to do the yeet after he gets the belt.
That's right.
For 2 weeks, he has done no yeet.
You're absolutely right. He has stopped doing the yeet since his brother got beat down by Gunther. It feels like Rocky and Rocky against the Russian Drago. Like right now, that's the way this matchup feels. Can he overcome the monster? Whoo, boy. I mean, I'm going with Jey. But what's so crazy is how many times have we seen Gunther in matches where it looked like he was going to lose, and then he found a way to pull it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's the one thing about Gunther is like with his matches, which I actually am impressed by, is like he's actually had me on a roller coaster ride where it's like, oh man, I think he's about to lose. Like Chad Gable. I just knew Chad Gable was going to get him for the Intercontinental, but he fell just short. You know what I'm saying? Matches like that. So, but WrestleMania, everybody doing the yeet. I mean, that place is going to be going nuts. Jay's got to come out of there with that one. He's got to.
And Sammy did beat him for the belt.
He did. He sure did.
Sammy beat him for the belt.
He did. It's funny that you mentioned Sammy too. We haven't seen him in a while. Anything about Sammy we need to know?
Not right now. I believe he's still injured. We may see him the night after WrestleMania because, you know, they do a lot on the Monday night after WrestleMania. They bring a lot of old stars back and a lot of people back. So yeah, you could see Sammy on Monday.
Whoa. Could we see Sammy possibly challenging his best bud Jay one day?
Very possible.
Wow. There's a lot of things that can happen, man. All right. So we going with Jay. We going with Yeet. It's gonna
Going
be
with
a Yeet party.
the Yeet party.
Yes, sir. All
All
right, what
right.
else we got up here? Want to go women's?
The ladies. Yep.
All right. All right, Charlotte Flair, challenger, going against champion. Help me out with the name real quick.
Tiffy time.
Yeah, Tiffy. Tiffy time. So will it be Tiffy time or will Charlotte pull it out and become champion again?
WWE loves to give the belt to Charlotte every time. I'm really sad about the situation, but that's possibly the way they're going with it. But I would really like to see Tiffany win. Tiffany Stratton has been very good.
Yeah.
And she's rookie and she's new to the business. I would really like to see her keep it. But knowing WWE, they're going to give it straight to Charlotte.
Well, Charlotte is the best, right? And if Charlotte wins, it won't be a stretch to believe that she can win this match and get the belt. She cuts in front of the line once again. She comes back and she's right there at the top. That's gotta set up a lot of good challengers for that, especially Tiffy. If Stratton does fall short, she's gonna chase Charlotte. And so it could be a whole spring and summer of her chasing, and that may make her even a bigger star, you know.
Yeah,
so,
they could do she lost the match, come right back and get a rematch and have another match down the road. Yeah, they could draw this out 2 or 3 matches easily for the next couple of months.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going with Charlotte too on this one. It's hard to go against a veteran. She's definitely more experienced in the ring, more experience on the mic, just all the experience goes that direction. Tiffany's been a champion for a couple months here. So that's a huge accomplishment, especially for just coming up from NXT to right there in the main. I mean, look, she's wrestling Charlotte Flair for a championship at WrestleMania, and she's fairly new to the sport. So
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a major accomplishment for her and a great learning experience too. So we'll see where it goes. You never know when it comes to pro wrestling.
You're right.
All right, man. The main event, the triple threat. You have the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth freaking Rollins. And we have Paul Heyman owing favor after favor. Where's this one going, LT?
This one could go in a bunch of different directions, and I've thought about it, and I've really dug down deep into this one. I believe CM Punk wins. With Paul Heyman interference, Paul Heyman helping him out, CM Punk wins. CM Punk can be boosted up for a major belt now. Now Punk wins this match, even with Paul Heyman. Now he can go after Cody. Now he can go after the Gunther, or he can go after Jay, or he can go after the bigger names now because he's got that match behind them. Now the spinoff on this is you really never got the Shield Roman Seth versus each other match. This is where you spin this into the Roman versus Seth. Now we finally gonna get the payback on the chair.
Makes sense, LT. Makes total sense. Speaking of chair, there was another chair shot Monday night.
There was, and that was a throwback from way back in the day. That was like 5 years throwback, easy.
Yeah, man. So I like where you're going with this one. I'm with you. CM Punk wins it. He wins his WrestleMania main event. He accomplishes that goal, not only of being in the main event at WrestleMania, but he's going to actually win it. Paul Heyman, I have no idea where he's going to end up on this one. I feel like he's not going to end up with Roman. and I really don't feel like he's going to end up with Seth. So I think him ending up with CM Punk makes the most sense to me. Um, would it help? Would it put another fresh coat of paint on Seth to have Paul
Oh,
Heyman as his advocate? We haven't
absolutely.
seen it. We haven't seen
Right.
it. We
That
seen him
that
with
would even
Paul. Oh, go ahead,
that would
LT.
boost Seth. That would go ahead and boost Seth up to that level. Now
Yeah,
Seth with Paul Heyman could go after Cody.
he could absolutely. So that would be interesting if he goes that way. And then I loved what you're saying about the Seth versus Roman. We had a we had an inkling of a match with them two. Remember, he came out, Seth came out dressed like the Shield one time at I
Right.
think it was Money in the Bank or one of those
Yep.
premium live events. And we had a match, but it was just kind of like a disqualification type finish or something. But we ain't really had a grudge match with those two. And
Nope.
and that I'll definitely sign up for that. So let's see where it goes, man. But I think we're gonna both go with CM Punk on this one.
I agree.
All right. Hey, night number 2. We'll go ahead and go with the women's tag team championships. You have the Intercontinental Champion. Uh is it Lyra? I think that's how you say her name, Lyra. And
Valkyria and Bailey.
yeah, and Bailey going up against the Judgment Day for the women's tag championships. I'll go ahead and throw mine in there. I think they defend them successfully. I think Liv and Raquel defends those championships. What say you, Larry?
Yeah, I'm leaning to Liv and Raquel way because I believe they'll keep the belts.
Yeah. I really feel like they could have had this match on SmackDown and maybe slide
Probably.
another match into WrestleMania. Especially if you're gonna not have Lyra defend her women's Intercontinental Championship. You
Nope.
know, that can roll. We could have that match on SmackDown, which would be good for SmackDown. I mean, I'm
Sure.
still gonna tune in for SmackDown. I know we have the men's tag team championship. Street Profits are going to defend on SmackDown
Hmm.
on Friday night, but I think we could have got another match in there. Still going to be a good match. I mean, Liv has been tearing it up. Bailey's an all time great, so it's going to be a fun match. But I just would like to see something else in that spot. But nonetheless, like we said earlier, 30 hours of WWE will be fine. How about this one, LT? Logan Paul, AJ Styles. This match could steal the show. What you think?
It could. It absolutely could because AJ is one of the best workers in the business. And there's a reason that the Undertaker wanted to have his last match with AJ.
Great
AJ
point.
is just AJ's awesome in the ring. Um, I do believe they're going to let AJ win. Logan could win as the heel, but I believe AJ could very easily could win this match because if Logan loses, he's gone for another 2 or 3 months. Then you
Right.
don't see him until something else happens. So it would be okay if Logan lost. But yeah, I think this is going to be one of the better matches of the night. I think those two are probably just going to be. Well, Logan is so athletic; he's
Yeah.
just going to be able to him and AJ just tear the house down.
Yeah. And you notice that Logan Paul has been in matches with, you know, future Hall of Famers like The Miz. Now you're looking at AJ, Rey Mysterio, who's a current Hall of Famer. Uh, and like he's in these matches with
Hmm.
big time opponents, and they're spot dutying him, right? They're they're
Sure.
they're keeping him in that celebrity type role with the highlight matches, even though he's a full time performer, and you could tell they're doing that for a reason. I mean, there's a point in time where we're going to really see Logan Paul at the top of a card, and but right, it's not time for it right now. They're moving him at the right pace.
Hmm.
Once he again, people have to understand he hasn't been wrestling that long. It may look like it, but he really hasn't. So
What? Maybe 2 years.
maybe, yeah. If you put all of it together, yeah. I mean, and he's already has the charisma. He knows how to be a great heel. He's got the social media. He's using that, blended it in, and like to go against these type of opponents. If he loses the match, it doesn't hurt him. If he wins the match, he has bragging rights. So he's in the right spot. I expect this to be a great match. And I'm gonna go with Logan. I think somehow he cheats to win, but that's my prediction on that. But neither neither opponent loses in this one.
Nope.
We're gonna have that's gonna be a great show. Do not go get you something to drink, something to eat during that match. Don't miss any of that match. All right, what we got next, LT, on the screen? Let's go.
The 4-way.
Okay, let's go that way then. The Intercontinental Championship 4-way. You have Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dirty Dom versus the champion Braun Breaker. And we just talked about how Logan Paul is a young guy and fairly new to the game. Braun Breaker, fairly new to the sport too. And man, as he come up, from NXT and has put himself in the thick of things. He's an IC champion twice. And this is a huge match. So a fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. There's a lot of ways this can go. What do you say, LT? Who's gonna win it?
I'm gonna throw the spin on it. I'm gonna throw the complete spin on it. Braun has already won the belt twice.
Correct.
Braun, it won't hurt for him. He could very easily keep the belt by some shenanigans. He could very easily keep the belt, and he probably should keep the belt. He's probably the most talented. Him and Penta are probably the most talented out of all of them. But I believe it also doesn't hurt for Braun to lose it. Now, here comes the spin. I believe Dominic Mysterio wins the belt. Dom wins the belt. That throws into controversy. That also spins something for him and Penta to fight some more. So you get 2 or 3 different matches out of all this. And now Braun's over here mad, upset, and dejected. They can pretty much keep these 4 guys together for a while.
Right.
But putting the belt on Dom, man, that is definitely a heel move.
It is, LT. And guess what? Dom can win without having to beat Breaker.
Right. He doesn't have to beat Braun. Absolutely.
Right. He doesn't have to beat him head up. So he can win the championship. Breaker never loses it to Dom physically. You know what I mean? And then you have the Judgment Day. Because Finn has been pushing that he's the guy. He's the guy for the Judgment Day. He makes all the calls, makes all the decisions. And then look at here, Dom will be the one walking around with the championship.
Right.
And that will be interesting TV as well to see how that dynamic goes too. I'm with you. I got Dom. I'm with Dom on this one. Dirty Dom gets him a championship, and he wins it at the biggest stage of it all, WrestleMania.
Leader of Judgment Day, Dom with the belt.
Dirty Dom, of all people.
Right.
All right. The street fight, the Las Vegas street fight. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. It's gonna be a physical bout, man. Who you got?
Probably gonna give it to Drew. Drew's probably gonna win. Because Drew's a little higher. His presence is a little higher up the card. I know they gave the belt to Damian Priest for a while, but he's just not the star that Drew is. And Drew's probably going to get the win so he can keep that elite status up there so that he can still fight with, Cody and Gunther and Jay. And, he can still keep his elite status. I believe Drew wins.
It's going to be a physical bout. It's going to be a bloodbath. They're going to be all over the place. And we need this kind of match because it's going to be different from the other matches to have a street fight. You picking a street warrior in Damian Priest. He's from the streets. That works out well. Drew McIntyre has had beef with everybody. And really, if you listen to what he says, he's right. Damian Priest showed up a couple times to mess up the things that Drew had earned, by cashing in, and then another incident. Then he was right about the bloodline and how they mistreated him and how they cheated their way to the top. He's been right about a lot of stuff. It's just that the fans just get tired of him whining about it. But yeah,
Right.
Priest. I got Drew McIntyre winning as well. And by the way, Drew McIntyre has had a great year and a half, man. He's really been on it. It's been a whole different Drew McIntyre. I can't wait to see him challenge for a world championship down the line.
And that would be the actual payback of Damian cashing in on him to make him lose the belt. That would
That's
be the
right.
payback.
That's right. A year ago
A year
at
ago.
WrestleMania. Yep.
Mhm.
Man, that's hey man, that's tying it all together. All right, we got two more on the card, LT. Let's go to the women's championship. You have Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus champion Io Sky. Where you going with this one?
Going with Bianca for the win. There's a reason they put Bianca up there, and there's a reason they gave her the win, just a month ago. I believe Bianca wins it so that they can set up another match with, it could be her and Jade. That could boost Jade up there. That could boost Naomi up there. If you put the belt on Bianca, there's a lot of different directions they can go after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, and guess what? Bianca is undefeated at WrestleMania too, so she can keep that streak going that way. You can't lose. You can't lose that way. Io, I like Io, and I'm glad that she's won this championship multiple times now. The way that they've been pie facing her, bro, the way they've been disrespecting her, it just makes me. There's a part of me that wants Io to win. There's a part of me that wants Bianca and Rhea to be so obsessed with each other that they just forget about who the actual champion is, which is Io. So for me and my prediction, I'm gonna lean with Io Sky, and I think that Rhea and Bianca are gonna somehow mess it up for each other.
Sure.
Now originally at the road to WrestleMania, with the Royal Rumble, with the Elimination Chamber, I had a feeling that it was going to be a WrestleMania title match between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. That's what I was looking at. But obviously, when they came in with Io Sky winning the belt, that changes it up for me. But I'm gonna go with Io, but we'll see where it goes, man. It's one of those where I can see any of them winning it.
Sure, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they kept the belt on Io. I mean, she very much deserves it.
Yeah, but there's some great matches that can be had with people chasing Bianca too, man. That's what makes it great, man. That's what makes this great. All right, we got one more to go, LT. Is the main event is heel John Cena with The Rock and Travis Scott. I'm assuming they're gonna be there for this one. We ain't seen them in a while. Versus champion Cody Rhodes. What you got?
The Rock's going to be there. The Rock has to be there. But there's going to be so many different shenanigans in this match and so many different directions they can go with this match. Last year at WrestleMania, they had 4 or 5 different walk-ins in the match that you didn't expect to see coming. Nobody knew The Undertaker was there. Now, somebody else I'm going to tell you is there and has already posted pictures of him being in Las Vegas is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Uh-oh. Really?
So you could have The Rock come down with Cena, and then you could have Cody about to lose, and Austin could pop up and give The Rock a stunner, and then Cody retain. There's many different ways that they could write this, and I'm sure they have been in the room. I'm sure the writers have been locked in a room for days and weeks to try to figure out how to spin this.
Man, I don't know where to go with this one. That's what makes it great for the main event. Because if John Cena wins his championship, he gets that that number, right? He gets the number
17.
17, right?
Right. So he can go one ahead of Ric Flair.
Right. So he'll have that. He accomplished that goal, and he accomplished it as a heel, which is something that a lot of people have been waiting for him to be all these years.
Sure.
And then there'll be enough time this summer, this spring and summer, for Cody to possibly win it back or go back after it, or for Cena to defend it against a couple different people. You at least get to see a run of Cena with the championship as a heel versus a run of the championship as a face, as a baby face. You can
Sure.
see that. But then I can see Cody Rhodes, overcoming like he always does. You know what I'm saying? The odds. And he wins it. And then we see what's the next plan for Cena and The Rock. And we'll Cena win that championship before the year is up, because this is his last year.
Right.
In ring. So it can go either way. I'm leaning now with John Cena winning this championship. I'm leaning with it. Somebody's gonna help him. And like you said, it could be a Stone Cold come out there, he stuns The Rock. Travis Scott comes out there, Bad Bunny flies out of nowhere. It could be all kind of stuff going on.
Right.
And then it's gonna be one more person. Somebody else is gonna come in and screw this thing up, and Cena's gonna scave away with this belt. If you think back to not the Royal Rumble, but to the Elimination Chamber, Cena won because Seth curb stomped Punk.
Roman. Yeah.
And that's typically not how Cena wins matches. Now, it didn't come across as a heel move or anything like that at that time, but if you just look back at it, like, that's how he won that. So was it a little foreshadowing there? Was it, something like that? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that Cena somehow comes out of there with this belt at the end of the night.
I believe so. I believe me personally, I like John Cena. I've always liked Cena. Cena would have to me, he would have to turn back babyface before he wins his 17th.
Uh-huh. And that can happen. I mean, The Rock can say something about him or turn on him or, something like that. And then at the end of the day, he comes back around and, goes back to hustle, loyalty, and respect and all that good stuff.
Right. Yep.
I think he has to close out as a baby face at some point. Somebody has to do something so that everybody can feel sorry for Cena and get him back on the right track on the way out the door. Man, but that match is gonna be something, man. It's gonna be rocking, man. Night 2, main event. It can go either way. And I'll say this, man, going back a couple years ago, you remember when Cody was challenging Roman Reigns the first time at WrestleMania? Sure. It felt like Cody was gonna just run away with that championship.
Yep.
And that's when I think Solo came in with the thumb, the spike, Samoan spike, and all that. And then Cody had to fight back that whole year to get back around to winning it. Mm-hmm. I don't think Cena has that much time. So I think, for me, I'm thinking he's going to get it at Mania. But I don't know, man. I mean, Cody has been on top, and he's been the guy for the company, and he's been doing everything that you have to do as champion for the company. And it'll be hard to kind of go away from that, if you will. But if you're gonna go away from it, I mean, who else would you have as champion than John Cena?
Sure.
So we'll see where it goes, man. We got our predictions in. We'll document them, get them in the comments and all that good stuff, and then we'll have them there so we can go back and reflect on them later. But
that sounds great.
All right, so we'll get back together after Mania, LT.
Sounds good.
All right, man. I appreciate you being on, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, share, because sharing is caring. He's LT. I'm Mr. 411. You just heard Turnbuckle Talk. Another great episode of Turnbuckle Talk, WrestleMania 41 match card preview predictions. We out of here.
We out.